Hello everyone, welcome to my final impressions of Waifu Watch. Baywatch. Shit, Battleborn. TF2. Fuck! Hello everyone, welcome to my final impressions of Overwatch. You might not have heard of it. It's a little bit of an indie darling, made by a really tiny company called Blizzard. Yeah, it had 9 million people in the beta, which is ridiculous. 9.1 million, something ridiculous like that. I don't know. So, it's an online FPS. It's currently available for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. You're better off getting the PC version because, one, it's cheaper, and two, Blizzard games tend to run on anything. Unless you're using an old computer with, like, integrated graphics, you'll probably be able to run this thing just fine. Even runs on Macintosh. So, let's have a look at the options menu here. Currently, yeah, it's available for $40, and I believe the Collector's Edition... Yeah, that's the one I paid for, is $60. I, of course, bought it because Trace is on the front, and I need to have my waifu in viewing distance at all times. So anyway, I'm running an R9 and it even shows you what you have up there. That's kind of nice. I also run a 4790K, although that doesn't matter too much, but for some of the effects, it does. So display ability, full screen, borders and windowed, which is nice. You can set it to monitors, which is nice, because some games I've been noticing they set it to monitor 1, even though my primary is 2. Because I have like a 3-way monitor setup, and the middle one is 2. Resolution... A lot of options. Field of view goes up to 203. Plenty of graphics options. Blizzard games don't really run well on when you have everything cranked up to high. Like their engines are just not optimized for it. But pretty much anything lower than that, you'll get a lot of frames. Usually. Sound, always good options. Like Blizzard just makes the best options menu. And you can even use fully rebindable keys, and you can even use a controller. I mean, not that I want to. Although I will change these for next time. There we go. Good amount of options here. Gameplay, always skip kill cam. You're going to want to have this off because the kill cam is actually kind of important. And not just for shaming you. Profanity filter. I don't know. This is always on by default for like a lot of Blizzard games. It's really annoying. I wish they'd stop doing that. Alright, so the game is like it's a hero-based... class-based FPS. There's no RPG elements or anything like that. You just pick a character. You have a few abilities. It's very easy to learn. You hit F1 to see like each character and like what they do, and like shows the skill level for it. Now some of you are gonna be crying, "Oh, TF2 clone. Battleborn copied it too." Like no, it's completely different. The only similarity mainly is teamwork and that there are classes. They're very different games. Now, for starters, the loot is something like a Team of Fortress 2. Most of it's cosmetic, some of it isn't. Here, it's all cosmetic. So if we level up, we can get loot boxes, and we'll like look at one right now. So I got an irradiate Junkrat. All right, I'll equip this because he's actually my main. Oh, all the Junkrats. All right, we'll just get a spread. Now here's the problem. Yeah, let's adjust the elephant in the room. So there is microtransactions in this game. I thought there wouldn't be any. There is. Okay, so Blizzard has a system where they'll have you buy more of their stuff, right? In-game or out-of-game, or they'll price like something. They'll have like something, whether it be merchandise be ridiculously expensive or in-game items be expensive. Like here's the Storm skins are ridiculous. So like some of them are like $10. Some of them are 15. But they do provide a lot of content. They at least follow up with that. And I don't mind this too much because it's all cosmetic. It's still a shame, though. I remember, back in my day, there was a time when games had strong single-player, strong multiplayers, and they gave you multiplayer content, free multiplayer content, because it was just a good PR move. Now, I guess that's just too much of an expensive PR move. It brought a lot of loyal customers in, and they kept buying their games and recommending it to friends. I mean, funny how that works. So you can matchmake with friends or recent players, which is always cool. Career profile, a lot of stats here, although it is missing stats for what maps you're playing. So, it has I actually really wish more Blizzard games would have this, so I can realize how many hours I've wasted in like games like StarCraft or Hearthstone. So 4 hours, but I played a lot more in the beta, so I think I played about 10 hours in total. So there is a lot of stats, but there's not stats for like maps. Heroes of the Storm has like stats for like everything, like maps, and it's from the same publisher, so I kind of expected that. It's still fine, that you get a lot. You can get one for each hero, which is cool. It's more hero-based than map-based. That's fine. There's also going to be competitive later, so that's going to be cool. And there's also achievements if you're into that sort of thing. They're not giving any... I think they give points so that you can buy stuff. I don't know what... I mean, maybe not. I haven't... It's not seeming like that. and I'm trying to, like, use... Oops. I'm trying to see if I can, like, buy stuff with, like, points, and I just can't yet. So, I don't know. Maybe they'll add that later. Who knows? Let's get into the game. That's what you came here to see, right? So, there are multiple gameplay modes. There's, like, versus AI for practice. There's, like, a tutorial that you have to play through. But the main ones are, like, a tavern brawl style, like, everyone... Like, a special kind of gameplay mode where, like, everyone has to pick the same hero, or, like, you know, per week, or... You get, like, a certain health bonus, or you, like, this week is, like, 150% health, and, like, 100%, like, or 200% health, and 150%, like, ability recharge, which is cool, but it can, like, draw games pretty heavily. And then there's, like, you know, quick play, like we're doing now. Okay, so there's a lot of maps in this game, although, like, for a $40 game, it's pretty good. I would say about 10-ish, 8 to 10 maps, and there's several objective modes. I think there's about 3 or 4, and each map has their own variant. We gotta pick really quickly here. So you have tank, you have support, defense, and assault. Now, you might be thinking, what's the difference between defense and tank? Well, tanks, they're designed to push and they're designed, or like, you know, hold a point and take a lot of damage. While defense is more about like either close combat or far away and like hit run and gun or like put yourself on like a stationary point and defend. Like with Bastion, who's a broken and overpowered hero, which we'll talk about in a bit. We don't have a tank hero right now. I'm gonna go with Winston. Now, what I would recommend everyone doing if you're planning on picking up this game is never bind yourself to one character. You can do that, but I always recommend switching it up a bit. Because there are counters to heroes in this game, and if you fight a team with a good composition, you can get slaughtered if you're too stubborn to switch. For example, Bastion right now, this guy, every team... Okay, this is a balancing issue, and we'll get into that bit. But Bastion's very good. Like, he can turn into a turret and absolutely wreck people. It's a problem. So, what you can do is you can pick a character that's very either long range and that can, like pop out of a corner. So someone like Junkrat, who has a grenade launcher. Winston not so much, surprisingly, even though he can jump around, because he's a huge target. So this is like Junkrat right here. He could easily kill our Bastion. So we just killed him. It's very hard to hit Winston at times if you're at like a medium distance because he can, you know, do that. And he can also put up a bubble shield to defend people. That's why he's a tank. He also has a lot of health. Come on. One-on-one, he's pretty good. The other counter to Bastion, I would say, maybe is Widowmaker from a distance. She has a sniper rifle. Pharah's not too bad because she can fly around very easily. That's the one I just killed just earlier. She has a jetpack and she has a rocket launcher, so she has splash damage, so she doesn't have to be very precise with her attacks. So there's a, you know, a counter for everything. But always just like mix and match. Find like at least try to find one hero from each class that fits you. Start like that, and then, you know, of course you can have a main. You can play some character often, but if you're starting to lose, do your team a favor and like help me. Like, what do I need? Okay, we have a composition. Which character would benefit this composition more? Someone like Reinhardt, who can deploy like a shield in front of him, would be very good with a Junkrat, because a Junkrat can grenade from behind him without having to worry. And Junkrat can do heavy damage. Now you see the kill cam here. Now notice the wheel at the bottom. Okay, he just got that recharged up, so he has his ultimate. Every character has an ultimate, and you can actually find, you can actually call it out, like, so you have this wheel right here, you can say, like, hey, my ultimate's ready. So, in this case, he has a very powerful, like, beast ultimate, which he goes around and melees the crap out of people, and he can run around really fast, Winston's at least. Now, McCree, the guy who just killed me, he does something called, High Noon, which basically, oh god, I think he's saving it. So, you have to wait a few seconds, but if you're in his targeting reticle, you get killed in one shot. But it takes time to recharge up, and you hear it coming. Let's actually show you it now. Spread everyone out. This one's really fun. So I'm using his ultimate right now. Didn't do well there, but that's fine. You don't have to necessarily kill people to win the game. You can distract them, you can spread the team out. Winston's pretty good at that, because he can just jump around the battlefield. Oh, Mercy's with them. So, that was a healer. And she's kind of similar to the medic, actually, in TF2. You can heal and buff people at the same time. Well, I mean, within the same weapon, you have to switch between them. Left click is heal, right click is increase damage of your target. And support is actually probably the best. Okay, in terms... I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. So, a lot of games have, like, your healers, your buffers, your, you know, your characters that don't kill, they just buff and give help. This game probably has the best assortment of those types of characters, because they have multiple roles. It's not just heal, they can also do cool stuff with their healing. Like, they'll have, like, for example, ZENYATTA is a healer. She can give people shields. And she's like a builder character, so she can build turrets and a teleporter. It's more than just stand next to someone and heal them. I think McCree just activated high mode. He just got a kill, actually. That's Steve's ultimate. She's gonna explode. Alright, he's not getting away this time. Nice. Okay, get him. There's another character called Lucio in the support. He can buff, or he can just switch between, like, buffing and giving, like speed boost or healing. He could also use, like, was it recurve, reverb, or something like that to push people back, and there's some areas with pits, and you can push people back into those pits. So you can actually get kills with them, which is cool. Mercy also has, like, the one with the wand that heals and buffs damage. She has a pistol. It's very accurate, but it's nice for finishing off enemies. And you might say, well, you know, that's like most healers in most games. I mean, they have, like, some crappy little weapon. But it still feels like they can do a little bit more. Mercy can also jump to people with shift. She can fly and regroup with people. She has a lot of mobility. Lucio's a lot of fun to run around with and help teammates. Oh god, Junkrat's bomb. If he didn't heal us, that right there, we would have been dead. Jesus. I think we're good with the payload. We're doing pretty well here. So at the bottom left there, you'll see my health, obviously. And one of the things is that there's various... So, like, there's health, there's armor, and there's shields. I believe armor... When you have armor, you take less damage. Oh, he got to the checkpoint. Alright. Shields recharge, health doesn't, but, you know, you can get health backs and stuff like that. There's health packs around the battlefield. Nothing really in terms of item pickups. It's not like Doom or anything like that. There is some learning of the maps, like finding the best place to snipe or defend or play like a certain character. But honestly, you're going to be doing most of your time like just learning the very character itself. Not too much of map variation, although some combos do very well. So I would say there's a decent amount of learning the maps, but there's not too many to learn. Which is kind of a good and bad thing, because one, it's good for new players, but, you know, on the other side... It's bad for people who want a lot of content, and the Overwatch isn't very content-heavy, but what is there is going to last you for a good amount of hours, because learning and mastering each character can be a lot of fun. You might not like a character at first, but if you go back to him later, you might find out that he's actually, or she, is actually really fun, and then you spend time learning that. Like, I was playing as Soldier 76, and I was just refusing to learn any other character, and then I started playing, like, Winston, and I'm like, huh, okay, this is not too bad. Then I played Junkrat, and that became my new main. The ability to... Hold on. Damn it. Hold on. A little bit too caught up in the mayhem. I'm, like, blocking them from getting the payload. See, I'm not necessarily... Like, even if I die here, it's fine, because, like, look, there's three right over here. They get time to fight the two who are at the payload, and they probably just got killed, actually. So it's more than just getting kills. It rewards different ways of playing, and Winston's like one of those ways, where you just jump over. Like, you can die a bunch. Like, I've died 5 times in this game, but I've got 9 eliminations, and I've kept them from getting to the payload. Now it's, like, going down, and they're going to be arriving just in time, and then I'll be, you know, I'm back from the grave. I'll be able to come and help them. See? They actually didn't even, all of them didn't even get over there. If they did, they got slaughtered, because... We had 5 people waiting for them, and they were a group of 3. So there's different places. It's not just, you know, get the most amount of kills. Now, play the game is a thing. It depends on what you did. So there's, like, deny, which is, like, stopping an enemy from getting, like, a huge team kill, like, with an ult, for example, like Junkrat's ultimate with that bomb earlier. Although, yeah, he did kill me here. Oh, cool, he has the same skin as me. You get award points, which gives you, like, you know, he's like, hey, this guy did pretty good. Even if it's on his enemy's team, and I'll give credit. Fair was not too bad this game. He's able to elude me quite a lot. And, you know, these are all you get scored, and then you get, like, tons of points, and then you use those to buy loot boxes. So there's not really a lot of unlockables. Everything's unlocked from the start in terms of, well, everything gameplay related, not, like, you know, cosmetically gameplay related. They plan on adding more maps and characters in the future for free, although I'm not sure how well the balancing is going to work. If they would have to do it very infrequently, like kind of like Heroes, like every other month. Right now, now let's talk about the balancing. So right now there are 2 sniper heroes, Hanzo and Widowmaker. They're both defense, obviously, and there's only 2 builders, Torbjorn and Symmetra, and Symmetra's a healer. So let's go... Let's actually switch it up. Let's go with... We need an offensive hero. Okay. But we need a support. Let's play ZENYATTA. Should we? It's been a while. Yeah, let's do it, because I want to show you guys... I don't want to just show you guys Tracer or Junkrat. It's like, one shoots grenades, one can, like, dash across the battlefield. So if you hit F1 at any time, you can learn about the hero. And it shows all the information right here, which I like. So Transcendence, become a vulnerable hero nearby allies. Orb of Discord, launch this orb at an enemy to increase the damage they take. Left shift, Orb of Harmony, so you can just... So this character uses orbs to reduce enemy... to increase the damage enemy takes and heal an ally. So support is pretty much universally like heal or restore something like shields, like for Symmetra. I believe Symmetra is just restoring shields. Even some other characters can do stuff like Torbjorn can give you armor pickups. So they have multiple roles. It's not just like defense plays defense, like Symmetra, or like you know, it's like not like Torbjorn's the only like defensive character in the game that has turrets. Like Symmetra does too, and I really like that. Characters have multiple roles, and there's cool combinations that you can figure out. There's a huge skill ceiling, but the entry is incredibly easy. Like look at this. There's like 4 buttons you need to learn. And I'm not very good. I wasn't paying attention. Alright, let's... You know what, let's switch to Mercy really quick. Because I really don't want to screw this up for the team, for their sake. So you have a little gun, and you have this wand. And Mercy's ultimate, she can revive people. That was a mistake. He should have stayed in here. The shield would have blocked him. They have a lot of guys shooting at us. So I'm going to give him a damage buff and switch to healing so they can get a good few shots on. Nice. So yeah, you get assist points, which is nice. You're not gonna get a lot of kills though as Mercy. If you couldn't tell, I'm having a lot of fun with the game. It's a pretty damn good one. There's a lot to learn about it, and there's a lot to play here. Even though it seems like there's not a lot. Like, a couple maps might seem like nothing to some people. Like, it's like, oh my god, that's like nothing. I'd rather buy the newest Call of Duty or Battlefield, but... Honestly, how many well-designed maps and classes and how many balanced classes are there? Unfortunately, there is some more class balancing issues, like Bastion, for example, the turret guy. Yeah, let's talk about him. So, in the beta, he was a problem because... The problem with a lot of characters is that, okay, like, you can be skilled and you can kill a lot of people, you know, if you're skilled. And the other thing is that characters counter others. So, there is, like, some, like, okay... Like, I'm getting killed by the same character. Like, is he overpowered? Well, no. You might just be the prey. You might be just the weakest character to stand up against that class. However, Bastion is a pretty big problem right now, and turrets in general. So, turrets in a lot of games, or sorry, in Team Fortress 2 specifically, some other games too, when they detect someone nearby, they give a little bit of a noise first, and then they take a delay, or like a second or two, to target the actual character. They don't shoot them at him immediately. That would be ridiculous. That means that, like, you can place turrets and abuse them around corners. So Overwatch is just that. You have a problem where turrets don't, like, take a second. They just fire immediately as soon as they lock onto their target. And some areas they have rotating, like, they have moving platforms in the air. So, you know, like, some... guys who might be good at hitting targets from the ground at a distance, that might be fine for them. But suddenly when you put that turret on a platform, it makes it even harder to do anything, like to stop that turret, to counter it. Even if you're that class's direct counter, which is a shame. It's like a real pain in the ass. I remember one map in Hollywood, there was a platform that goes up and down, and I couldn't hit it as Junkrat because it was in a corner, and you could easily defend that corner. So you might as well go up and shoot it from above, right? So you pick Pharah, but again, the turret goes up and down, so it's a little bit hard to fight. It's just a pain. And Bastion, don't even get me started. Actually, don't get me started, because that character is incredibly easy to play. It's one thing, again, it's one thing to have, like, suck at the game like me, and not be good at Bastion, and not be able to get the kills, right? And then a pro player is able to beat a bunch of players who are, like, the non-counter to Bastion. Like, Bastion's the counter to a bunch of other characters, and you're able to clean them up, right? That's one thing. But it's another thing for him to be able to kill almost every character very easily. He has this massive... let's just switch to him, if we can. I'm going to just show you, because this is so ridiculous. And they talked about... This was in beta, and they said they would fix it, I believe, and it still hasn't been fixed. It's ridiculous. If they could put in microtransactions. So, you hit shift, and you go into this turret mode. Look, watch this. That's how long he can fire for. His ultimate lets him go mobile and fire a rocket launcher, which can one-shot you if you get hit anywhere near the head. Jesus Christ. Hanzo's ult's pretty bullshit, though. And you also have a mobile mode, so it's not even enough that he can, like, as stationary turret, he's almost unstoppable. But he can also go around and shoot people. Now, I didn't deploy there, but look how fast I nearly killed her. And you can also heal. So as soon as she goes around that corner... This is ridiculous. Now, what they should do is at least add some kind of overheating element in addition to the ammo element. Now, that wasn't a dumb position, and I should have replaced, because look at that. That's a sniper's wet run right there. But you get the point. Like, look how fast I nearly killed that character. And if you play... And we're playing offensively. Imagine if we played defensively. In fact, you could actually... deploy Bastion on top of the payload, which we'll try to do right now. And that gets ridiculous, because now you're moving. Like, one of his biggest weaknesses is that you stay stationary. On the payload, you're now moving. And that's another thing with the turrets. Again, those moving platforms, you can still go on those moving platforms. They're not restricted to turrets. It's a shame that they didn't properly balance the game. Look at that, that was a tank. I am getting stuck from my angles. Some areas, yeah, Bastion isn't too good, but a lot of areas where you have to stay put and defend, it's horrible. I'm doing a pretty good job of showcasing that. Let's try to activate the ultimate here, see if I can get some kills. Yeah. Overall, I think the game needs some more work. The balancing can be an issue, and I hope that later patches don't make it worse. Like, Blizzard has a tendency to do that. Like, they nerf one thing for the wrong reasons, and then they inadvertently buff a lot of stuff. Junkrat right now is pretty powerful, and I main him, so I'm not, like, afraid to admit, like, he's overpowered. Junkrat's probably, like, one of the top 3, and I bet when Bastion gets nerfed, he'll be even stronger. Animation-wise, it's pretty good. Sound-wise, a lot of the music's pretty great. Now, might as well talk about the other content, so the lack thereof. Rather the lack thereof, excuse me. So, there is no campaign. And a lot of people take issue with that. As long as it's, like, a little bit cheaper, at least for PC, 40 bucks, I'm fine with that. Or if it's a really good multiplayer, in which case it is. So, cheap and good multiplayer, you're already on the right track. See? So, a lot of people are comparing Battleborn to this game, which is a shame because they're completely different games. In fact, Battleborn had to drop its price because everyone apparently didn't understand their marketing campaign, which, to be fair, they barely showed anything up until the release of the game. Unless you, like, really looked into their, YouTube channel and actually actively watched their videos. But... So, no story. A lot of people are saying, like, well, there should be a story, and there kind of is. You have to go into the videos. Like, it's more about the universe that already exists, that they're building on outside. So, like, with comics, action figures, toys, like, animation shorts, which are alright. Maybe I'll do another video talking about those in particular and what I don't like about them. But my main thing with Blizzard has been They create these amazing worlds, and yet they can't tell a story to save their life sometimes. They have amazing voice actors, amazing budgets, yet some of their stories are ridiculously stupid. Legacy of the Void had that problem. There was a lot of potential in that game, and even though I did like it, I did end up enjoying the story. Some of, like, the plausibility, like how they retconned a bunch of stuff is hilarious. And they did retcon it. There's no way they thought of some of this stuff in the beginning. That is lunacy. I'm not going to get too much into that because that's spoiler territory for that game. But it's just not... I don't think... I think a story would have actually hurt this game. I always advocate for stories in games. I always advocate for single-player options. But if we're getting a cheap multiplayer game with a lot of good content, I couldn't care less. And it would have been cool, but... And like a lot of people are saying, like, what about an expansion later on? That still sounds like a good idea, but it's... I'm just worried about, like, you know, some people are like, well, better to try than not try at all. Well, I mean, especially... Well, I mean, for a game that's, like, if you try to focus on single and multiplayer, and, like, let's say they try to do single player, and that actually takes time away from making a good multiplayer. What if they mess up and make a bad single player? What if they can't do it properly? Think about it. They have to get more developers to do it. And I'm not saying they shouldn't try at all, or they should at least consider it, or, like, plan it out. But, again, Blizzard has had an issue recently with writing their stories. They've had an issue with their fans in terms of, like, just making good narratives, making good stories. And, like, refusing to accept that their work, their best work, was in the past. Like, WoW is going through a thing right now where people are wanting vanilla servers. And that's more to do with gameplay, but you have Diablo 2, which obviously arguably had a better... which was way better done than Diablo 3, at least on launch. Diablo 3 was a mess. Warcraft 3 had a better story than StarCraft 2. StarCraft 1 had a better story than StarCraft 2 in very many ways. They had better developed characters, especially when you consider the budget. It's night and day. Like, the budget is night and day, and yet the story is arguably better. Like, how does that even work? I'm not even a Brood War fanboy. God, that's so annoying. Fortunately, we lost. That's pretty much it for Overwatch, guys. I think it's a great game. I think you'll enjoy it too, but it does have some balancing issues right now. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.